Everyone expected a peaceful royal night, but one moment changed everything. When Princess Catherine stepped out wearing Princess Diana's most loved tiara, the whole room froze. Queen Camilla's smile faded, and behind closed doors, she broke down in tears. Was it just jewelry, or a silent message filled with love, memory, and royal truth? Join us as we uncover what led to this moment and the reason behind Camilla's tears. The tiara that spoke louder than words. It was supposed to be a night full of royal charm and a grand dinner at Buckingham Palace with important guests from all over the world. Everyone expected the usual grace and formality that comes with such events, where members of the royal family shine in their finest clothes and jewelry. But this particular evening took an unexpected turn. When Princess Catherine walked into the hall, heads instantly turned. She wore something that didn't just sparkle, but spoke volumes. It was the lover's knot tiara, a headpiece with deep emotional meaning and a powerful history. The moment she stepped in, there was a quiet wave of surprise in the room. Conversations continued, smiles were exchanged, but something had clearly shifted. People noticed. Many had seen her wear that tiara before, but this time everything felt different. The place, the people watching, and the quiet tension in the air gave the moment a new kind of weight. The tiara wasn't just a pretty accessory. It once belonged to Princess Diana, and seeing it again brought back powerful memories. It wasn't just about Catherine looking stunning. It reminded everyone of Diana's presence, her influence, and her lasting place in royal history. That tiara wasn't just glittering with diamonds. It was glowing with memories that some thought had long faded. Shortly after, Queen Camilla entered the room. She looked flawless as always, her own tiara sitting perfectly on her head. She smiled as she walked in, but those nearby saw through it. There was a pause in her step, a small hesitation. That smile, though still there, wasn't as confident. Observers believed she had spotted Catherine wearing Diana's tiara and quickly turned her gaze. Something shifted again. The air in the room felt heavier. It wasn't just about fashion or sparkle anymore. For Queen Camilla, seeing that tiara on Catherine stirred up emotions. It brought up the past, the stories behind it, and the woman it used to belong to. From that point on, her energy seemed different, quieter, and more reserved. Though the banquet carried on with everything appearing normal on the outside, whispers of unease floated through the palace. Behind closed doors, the mood was tense. People who understood royal traditions knew the meaning behind every piece of jewelry worn in that palace. Some items are just beautiful, but others, like this tiara, carry the weight of personal history. This wasn't just about who wore what. It brought to light a deeper issue. What that tiara symbolized and how it made others in the room feel, especially Queen Camilla. Catherine wearing Diana's tiara wasn't just a fashion choice. It stirred emotions, revived memories, and possibly even signaled something bigger about her place in the royal family. In that moment, everything felt raw, personal, and almost too close to the heart. That tiara, with its shimmering diamonds and powerful past, became more than just a piece of jewelry. It became a message. And for Camilla, it was a message she could never truly respond to because that legacy and connection would never be hers. Now, let's unveil why the presence of that tiara was so disturbing. The tiara's significance. To many people, it's just a sparkling diamond tiara, beautiful, royal, and timeless. But to Queen Camilla, the lover's knot tiara represents something far deeper and more painful. It quietly reminds her of the role she was never allowed to step into, the admiration she never truly received, and the love that always belonged to someone else. Princess Diana wore that tiara during some of the most unforgettable and emotional moments of her life. Over time, it became more than just a royal accessory. It became a part of her story. It carried her strength, her sorrow, and her quiet grace. So when Princess Catherine wore it again, especially at such a public and highly watched event, it brought back a wave of emotion that was hard to ignore. That piece wasn't just shining with diamonds. It was glowing with memories of a woman whose legacy has only grown stronger since her passing. For some inside the palace, the tiara was seen as Diana's invisible shield. It made her look powerful even when she was hurting. For Camilla, watching Catherine, where it may have felt like the past had walked into the room uninvited and unforgettable. Camilla's story has always been complicated. Her name is still closely tied to the painful end of Diana and Charles's marriage. For years, she was the subject of public judgment, and even after becoming queen consort, there are still people who struggle to embrace her. She has tried to move forward, but the shadow of Diana's legacy continues to follow her. Seeing Catherine, graceful, loved, and respected, wearing that very same tiara might have sent a quiet, painful message. A message that no matter how much time has passed, the public's heart still leans toward Diana. Some wounds, especially emotional ones, never fully close. That night, it seemed like the tiara reopened them without saying a word. When Queen Elizabeth passed away, the palace has just issued this statement. It says the Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. Her private jewelry collection was quietly split following royal tradition. As Queen Consort, Camilla was given the privilege of choosing first. That wasn't a personal favor. It was a royal procedure strictly guided by rank and status. Everyone assumed she would select the most emotionally significant piece, the lovers, not tiara. But that didn't happen. Surprisingly, it found its way to Princess Catherine instead. And inside palace walls, that unexpected move stirred quiet waves. According to royal watchers, most insiders were sure Camilla would claim it, but somehow it ended up with Kate. So, how did that shift take place? Reports point to a deep, unspoken bond between Queen Elizabeth and Catherine. Over the years, their relationship was never flashy, but it was meaningful. Some believe the Queen made a personal choice to gift Diana's beloved tiara to Kate, possibly as a tribute to her late daughter-in-law. Others say it was already promised to Catherine long before Camilla began selecting her pieces. Whatever the reason, the outcome couldn't be ignored. The most symbolic and emotionally charged tiara in the royal collection was no longer up for grabs. It now belonged to Catherine, and the reaction from the public, instant and overwhelming. As soon as images of Catherine wearing the tiara were shared, the internet lit up with admiration. People compared her to Diana. Some said she looked like a mirror of the late princess. Others called it destiny. One message echoed across the crowd. The crown had chosen her. That moment spoke volumes. And for Camilla, it couldn't have been easy. After years of trying to gain acceptance and public warmth, watching the people celebrate another woman wearing a jewel so closely tied to Diana must have cut deep. Royal experts didn't miss the meaning. Catherine didn't just wear a tiara. She wore a promise. She looked like the future queen. Meanwhile, Camilla, though standing in the highest position beside the king, seemed to fade into the background. But this shift wasn't just about jealousy. It pointed to something bigger, a shift in influence. Camilla may have the official title, but Catherine holds the heart of the people. In the royal world, that kind of love speaks louder than words. The tiara wasn't just placed on Catherine's head. In spirit, it slipped away from Camilla. That single act rewrote the power balance in a family where symbols speak louder than speeches. Still, Camilla didn't disappear without a move of her own. At the next royal event, she stepped out with confidence, wearing another treasured piece, which was the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This piece, once a favorite of Queen Elizabeth, was Camilla's way of showing that she too could represent legacy, stability, and tradition. She smiled for photographers, held herself with grace, and wore the tiara proudly. But even with all that shine, something didn't land the way it was meant to. The sparkle was there, the history was there, but the attention wasn't. The magic of the moment still belonged to Catherine. The eyes, the applause, the admiration, it all leaned toward the princess who had quietly stepped into Diana's place. Not just in title, but in spirit. HIV does not make people dangerous to know. So, you can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it. And just like that, the silent contest between two royal women wasn't about jewels. It was about what they meant. Even though Camilla chose one of the most historic tiaras in the royal vault, her appearance didn't make much noise. The media barely reacted, and people online weren't talking about the dazzling stones or the deep royal history behind the piece originally worn by Queen Mary. Instead, Everyone was still fixated on Catherine. Camilla looked elegant, yes, but it was Kate's image and Diana's iconic tiara that stayed in people's minds. The conversation wasn't about the value or the sparkle of the gems. It was about the feelings behind them, and in that emotional category, the tiara Camilla wore simply couldn't match the meaning of the one on Catherine's head. What made it harder for Camilla was how easy and natural everything seemed for Catherine. While Camilla was trying to make a statement and secure her place in the royal story, Kate was already living it, and people noticed. Catherine didn't have to say a word. She wore the lover's not tiara, and the world reacted with warmth and emotion. Camilla could wear a crown just as grand, and barely anyone flinched. That difference must have hurt, because even with her high position and official title, Camilla still seemed to be chasing the kind of love from the people that Catherine already had. The moment Camilla hoped would be her shining comeback actually did the opposite. Rather than dimming Kate's glow, it made the contrast between them even clearer. One woman is admired while the other is adored. And in the royal family, it's not just about placing a crown on your head. It's about what people feel when they see you wear it. More and more, the public doesn't see Camilla in that role. They actually see Catherine. So why do these tiaras hold such emotional power? It's not simply about beauty. It's about tradition. There are strict royal rules behind every single one. Not just anyone can wear a tiara. In fact, they're personally assigned by the monarch. And once a tiara is given to a royal woman, it's hers for life. That means when Catherine received the lover's knot, the door closed forever. Camilla couldn't wear it, not even once. According to royal experts, the jewelry isn't passed around. It's not about personal preference. It's about structure, rank, and message. Each tiara tells a story. There are even rules about when they can be worn. Royal women are only allowed to wear them after 5 p.m. and only at formal state-level events, banquets, royal weddings, and official ceremonies. That's why whenever Catherine or Camilla appears wearing one, it feels important. It signals tradition in motion, but the deeper meaning lies in who receives which tiara. And for Camilla, watching Catherine wear Diana's most treasured piece wasn't about jewelry. It was about reality. The decision had already been made that tiara wasn't hers and never would be. It was final. There's also a rule that only royal-born women or those officially married into the family can wear tiaras. Catherine's first moment wearing one came on her wedding day, just as Diana's had. Meghan Markle followed the same tradition. These aren't just sweet gestures. They mark a royal woman's formal entrance into the monarchy. The first tiara moment isn't just about glamour. It's about stepping into history. For Camilla, though, these royal rules might not feel like proud customs. They may feel more like locked doors. The one tiara she might have truly desired is no longer within reach. She can't borrow it, switch it, or even request to wear it. The moment it was handed to Catherine, it was sealed. Camilla may carry the title of queen, but in this family built on symbols, some things remain out of her grasp. And maybe that's what cuts the most. It's not about diamonds, it's about belonging. And no moment showed that more clearly than when Catherine stepped into the spotlight wearing Diana's tiara. The public's reaction said it all. Diana's spirit didn't fade away. It found new life in someone the people truly cherish. Let's now look deeper into how powerful that connection really is. A change of position. No matter how high Camilla rises or how many titles she gains, her presence is constantly measured against one unforgettable woman, Diana. The late Princess of Wales didn't just leave memories behind. She left a powerful legacy, and every time Catherine places that iconic tiara on her head, it becomes more than just a piece of sparkling jewelry. People don't just see diamonds, they feel something. They remember Diana's gentle heart, her kindness, her hardships, and when they look at Catherine, they see someone who carries those same gentle strengths. For many, it's like seeing Diana all over again, but this time wrapped in calm and confidence. This only makes Camilla's journey harder. She has taken her place beside King Charles, embraced every duty, and worked to earn her place within the monarchy. But there's still a noticeable gap. The public doesn't embrace her in the same warm way they do with Catherine. That became clearer than ever when Catherine wore the lover's knot tiara. That crown didn't just shine, it stirred feelings. And those feelings weren't tied to Camilla. They belonged first to Diana, and now they seem to belong to Catherine. It isn't just about who physically wears the tiara. It's about who the people want to see wearing it. That emotional tie can't be created with effort alone. Catherine doesn't try to win hearts. She just naturally holds them through her calm strength, her charity work, and her ability to stay graceful even under pressure. She has quietly built a powerful connection with the public. And when she appears wearing Diana's favorite tiara, it only confirms what many already feel, that she is carrying forward Diana's spirit in a new generation. Camilla may carry the title of queen, but the deep affection from the public leans toward Catherine. It's not something a royal title can buy. In fact, the tiara becomes more than a piece of tradition. It becomes a reflection of how the world views both women. Camilla might have the formal power, the royal estate, and all the ceremony, but Catherine, she has the people's admiration. And in a monarchy that thrives on symbols and meaning, that quiet love from the people might just be the most powerful thing of all. Now that this emotional divide has become so clear, another question naturally follows. How did Catherine end up with the lover's not tiara when Camilla by rank had the right to choose first? What really happened behind those palace walls? It's time to uncover the private decisions and unexpected turns that led to this moment. Secrets buried within the royal jewelry vault that many never saw coming. The story behind Diana's lover's knot. Long before it stirred up feelings and quiet rivalries within the palace walls, the lover's knot tiara was a powerful symbol of love, heartbreak, and unforgettable history. It was first created back in 1914 especially for Queen Mary, then passed on to Queen Elizabeth II. Years later, the Queen chose to give it to Princess Diana as a wedding present. But this wasn't just a gift. It became part of who Diana was. She wore it during formal events, on international trips, and even during her most painful public appearances. Though the tiara sparkled beautifully, it was heavy and not easy to wear, almost like a reflection of Diana's own life within the royal family. Yet, she never let that show. She wore it with such grace that over time the tiara stopped being just a piece of jewelry. It became a symbol of her quiet strength. According to those who knew her story, whenever Diana wore that tiara, it was like she was saying, "I'm still here." Even when her marriage was falling apart, she stayed composed and dignified in the public eye. And the tiara was right there with her, silently sharing her journey. After Diana's tragic passing in 1997, the tiara disappeared from view. It was set aside as if tucked away along with the pain of losing her. For years, no one touched it. It remained hidden, full of memories and emotion. Then in 2015, something unexpected happened. The tiara was brought back, but not by Camilla. It was Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who wore it. That moment sent a quiet shock through royal watchers. It was like Diana had returned, not physically, but in spirit. Catherine wearing the tiara wasn't just about style. It brought back the memory of Diana in full royal splendor. And that deep emotional revival is exactly why this one tiara affects Camilla so deeply. The public adored Diana, and now they feel that same warmth toward Catherine. Camilla may have her pick of dazzling heirlooms from Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, but this particular piece, this deeply emotional tiara, holds a place no other crown can match. It will always belong in the hearts of the people to Diana. Even if others were different pieces, this one will forever echo Diana's name. And now the real question remains. How did it end up in Catherine's hands when Camilla was expected to have first pick? To understand that, we have to go back and look closely at how Queen Elizabeth's treasured jewelry collection was quietly divided and how one choice may have changed the way we view these royal women forever. When one tiara spoke louder than a crown. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away, her grand collection of royal jewelry filled with crowns, brooches, tiaras, and precious family heirlooms needed to be carefully divided. But this wasn't something done with guesses or favorites. According to royal experts, the entire process followed a strict order based on rank. As queen consort, Camilla had the right to go first. She had full access to the most treasured and valuable pieces. But what caught everyone by surprise was this. Camilla did not claim the lover's not tiara. Instead, it was passed on to Princess Catherine. That decision raised eyebrows across the palace. Some began to wonder, did Camilla step aside on her own, or had Queen Elizabeth already decided who the tiara should go to long before she passed? People close to the situation believe that the late queen made the choice herself. Many say she had a strong emotional connection to Catherine and wanted Diana's favorite tiara to land in the hands of someone who truly carried on that legacy. It wasn't just about status. It was about a feeling and something deeply personal. Other reports suggest that King Charles may have quietly supported the idea as well, perhaps wanting his late wife's memory to live on through the woman now married to his son. It wasn't just this tiara that Catherine received. Insiders revealed she also inherited several pieces of Queen Elizabeth's collection: elegant brooches, timeless necklaces, and even some accessories linked to Princess Margaret. Meanwhile, Camilla took ownership of other major items like the Baron honeycomb tiara and some of Queen Mary's signature jewels. But the difference was clear. The items that held the most emotional history and public meaning seemed to go to Catherine. It was never about price or sparkle. As one journalist put it, what mattered most was the story behind the jewel. And in the royal world, meaning carries more weight than diamonds ever could. This particular division of treasures didn't just leave Camilla with fewer headlines. It may have quietly added to old feelings of frustration. She had waited many long years to become queen consort, endured public criticism, and finally claimed her place. Yet, when the moment arrived to shine the brightest, it was Catherine who walked into the light one jewel at a time. Camilla may have worn the crown, but Kate seemed to inherit the fairy tale and the public's affection. In a family built on history and image, emotion sometimes speaks louder than ceremony. And the moment Catherine stepped out wearing that iconic tiara again, it didn't just continue Diana's story. It sent a message, one so subtle yet powerful it couldn't be ignored. That quiet message didn't just sit in the background. According to royal watchers, it sparked something in Camilla. It stirred the air in the palace. The tiara, once just a beautiful heirloom, suddenly became something sharper, a symbol that had turned into a challenge. When Catherine appeared in public wearing the lover's knot, the headlines came rushing in. Front pages lit up, social media erupted, and television programs couldn't stop talking about it. But under all the sparkle and grace, something more was at play. To the people watching, it felt like a proud tribute to royal tradition and elegance. But to Camilla, some insiders say it felt different. It felt personal. It felt like a message directed straight at her. What made it sting even more was how naturally Catherine wore it. Her presence, her calm, her posture, everything about her reminded people of Princess Diana. It didn't feel like someone trying to copy a legacy. It felt like someone was carrying it forward, and that's something Camilla could never truly do. She can wear the rest of the jewels. She can appear at grand events. But this one tiara, this one special piece, it's filled with a spirit that only Diana carried. And now it's Catherine who wears that spirit with quiet pride. That kind of connection can't be borrowed. It can't be traded. And for Camilla, no matter how many jewels she owns, that emotional crown may remain forever out of reach. The impact was instant. Social media exploded with comparisons as people began sharing images of Princess Diana and Princess Catherine side by side. The comments came flooding in. Many started calling Kate the modern people's princess, even giving her the nickname Queen of Hearts 2.0. In just a matter of hours, the tiara transformed into something much more powerful than jewelry. It became a symbol of the woman the public now sees as the future of the monarchy. That same evening, Camilla also appeared wearing a different crown, but few seemed to notice. Her appearance quietly faded into the background while all eyes stayed on Catherine. To many, this contrast didn't feel like a coincidence. According to palace insiders, the whole thing felt like a silent showdown, and it was clear who captured the world's attention. This is why the moment carried such weight. It wasn't just about a beautiful piece of royal treasure. It was about the feelings tied to it. In the royal world, how people see you often matters more than any title. And by choosing that particular tiara, Catherine didn't just step into a memory. She stepped into the hearts of millions. For Camilla, the gesture brought back old pain. It reminded her of something she's long tried to forget. Not all crowns sit on your head. Some are felt deeply by the people, and those are the ones that truly matter. Now that emotions are stirred and the public seems to be choosing sides, there's one big question left. Can this moment be erased? Or has it created a lasting divide that even Camilla, with all her royal authority, can't fix? To understand this better, we need to look back before tiaras in headlines to when the tension between Camilla and Catherine first started taking shape. The chaotic relationship. Their complicated history goes back years, long before any royal rivalry made it to the front page. Things were already uneasy when Prince William introduced Kate Middleton to the royal inner circle. From the beginning, Camilla reportedly had concerns. It wasn't about Kate's personality or manners. Those were fine. What bothered Camilla, according to whispers inside the palace, was Kate's background. She wasn't born into royalty or aristocracy. She didn't come from noble roots. In Camilla's eyes, that made her unfit for the world she was stepping into. It's important to remember that Camilla didn't have an easy journey into royal life either. She had to fight for her place, deal with harsh public judgment, and prove herself to the royal family over many years. So when Kate came along and was instantly adored by the public, it might have felt a bit unfair to her. Kate didn't need to earn love. It was handed to her almost overnight. So, what do you think about Camilla's reaction to Kate's possession? Do you think it will affect the monarchy in time to come? Let's hear from you in the comments. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.